Okay, time to make some starter. So I've got some decent amount here. I want to convince you guys not to think that this is a very fussy undertaking. So this is what I keep my starter in the fridge, by the way. It's a little Tupperware thing. It's not airtight like I used to use a glass jar with the lid on it. Danger is that that could get overfull. I tend not to keep very much starter, actually. I'm going to be feeding y'all starter with just regular flour that I got from Costco, which is actually great flour. It's Central Milling. If you get their all-purpose, well, it's from Central Milling. It's a great flour. It's a type 55 flour, and it's great for all-purpose stuff. It's like a King Arthur all-purpose. Oh, this is sort of cool. So you can see how filamenty this stuff is now. This has been sitting around for a couple hours since I actually turned this into dough. So this is, you want to put starter in the fridge when it's, on an upswing in terms of growth. I mean, this is smaller than a golf ball size that I'm just going to stick back in here. You don't want it to be sitting around for hours after you fed it and then put it in the fridge, because it will essentially go into hibernation and not be very active, and it'll be that much slower when it's time for you to do something with it. So here's what we're going to do. I've got just a few minutes before my next meeting. There's like 9 of you, and I'm going to probably give you a recipe that is based off of the one that I'm doing, except I'm going to leave out instant yeast, and I'm going to leave out all the fancy folding, even though it's not that fancy, and rye flour and so on. And we'll do it for your regular flour. So that calls for like 25 grams. I'm going to assume that I'm going to make 50 grams because honestly, there'll be some evaporation. Oh, I need to set the timer for this fold that I just did. There we go. So we're going to do a liquid levain, which is equal parts by weight of water and flour. That is not equal parts by cup measure, because 1 cup of water weighs 240 grams roughly, and 1 cup of flour actually weighs 120 grams. So it'd be a 2-to-1 ratio by cup measure, roughly speaking. And of course that depends on the flour. So I'm going to make you guys, since we've got like, I'm going to say 10 of you, that's 500 grams. Oh, I need a bigger container. Okay, I'll just put it in here. 500 grams ultimately. So that's 250 grams of water and 250 grams of flour. Just like when I was making the bread dough, I'll start off by taking the starter and mixing it with water first. And there's just a very small amount in there. So this is going to take a while. So the total is 21 grams. So this is going to take me a while to get this to the point where it's pretty active for you guys. I will put in 500 grams total. That'll be 50 grams each. So I'll put in 250 grams of water. This is water that I filtered from my fridge. You can use tap water, but then you want to leave it out on the counter probably. I mean, at least I say that here in Great Hills because I know that our water is chlorinated, and that is about 250 grams. I'll just stir it up, and don't have to get that perfect. You can do this by cup measures and the like. There's lots of reasons why a scale is the way to go if you're baking in bread or baking in anything. And, look for cookbooks that come with metric weights and not just cups and teaspoons and stuff like that. I even have, to measure out salt, I even have a little measure that measures in the hundredths or thousandths of grams. you can't use a, like a regular scale like I've got down here for salt and the quantities that you'd have for a home recipe. All right, so there's 255. I've tared it. Let me, that is, I've zeroed out the weight. I'm going to put in 250 grams of flour. I made sure that the water was warm-ish, just because I don't want to wait forever on this. It's not hot. It's probably maybe 80 degrees. In the summer, I would not do that. In the summer, I actually go with cold water straight from the fridge, because if anything, I don't know about your house, but we keep our house at like 78 degrees, and that's pretty warm for a sourdough. So cold water, you can get mathematical about this stuff, but cold water usually ends up being about right. So I'll show you what this stuff looks like mixed up. Actually, at this point, I'll just use a scraper. Okay, much more efficient. So scrape the side. Like get all the flour, use up all the flour, and I probably actually didn't need this. I'll put this in here. That's mixed up enough. You're not needing to knead this or anything at all like that. This is, I'll divide this up into 50-gram units for each of y'all, based on the fact that I put a very small amount of starter in here, which is like 21 grams out of 500, so it's 1/20th of the weight. There's like a little seed of starter in there. It's going to take a while for this to grow up to be pretty active, and I want this to be active when I actually hand it to you. So probably hand this over to you tomorrow. All right, let's see now. Did I get this to